Hey, you guys, Bryson Dechambeau is really on to something. This guy's already been through exactly what Bryson Dechambeau is doing right now, and he's on the right track. And in this video, we're going to show you exactly what's up with that. All right, now before we get started, come on, you got to subscribe to the channel, and you will want to after this, right, Moo?
That's right.
So subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know exactly when we're posting a video. You don't want to miss it. And so here we go with our wonderful video on Bryson Dechambeau. Excellent. Hey everyone, Shawn here with Munashe, and we've got a fabulous little session for you guys today. We're going to see Bryson Dechambeau on two different planes here. I'm going to start off with showing you how his movement patterns are actually improving very, very nicely compared to 2016 when he first hit the scene and what he's doing now. So you're going to see the differences between what is, then and now, and the major improvements that he's done and what we consider wisdom in golf approved. And then Munashe is going to jump in because, dude, you had to do the same thing. You went from receiver weight to D-line weight. You had to pack on a solid 40 pounds. And you basically did the same thing as Bryson did, but in the football standpoint.
Yeah.
And you've got some really awesome insight as to how we're going to get more explosiveness in the movement. But also at the same time, you need the bulk to support that extra speed.
Yeah, that's
right?
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss the second half of the show here.
Yeah.
So let me start off with what are the things that we typically see with our wisdom in golf. We're talking about the way that we're moving in the direction of the target. And you see his original where he's standing very tall and very straight-legged. He's always had that very weak grip. We'll get into that in a second. So in the backswing, he's always had a very centered turn, almost to the point where he's tipping over toward the target a little too much. And you see that in his 2016 video. You'll notice how that leg is straightening out, which you want, right? But you can see that at the top of the backswing, he's losing a little bit of pressure on that trail leg. And you notice today in 2020, he's wider, he's much more sat down, and in the backswing, he's really nicely loaded inside. Again, he's not swaying, but he's really loaded nicely inside that trail leg. And he's not resisting with the lower body per se. He's allowing the lower body to give him the leverage he needs to move toward the target. So you'll notice down the line, very, very tall. And at the top of the backswing, because he's a lot more solid on his legs in 2020, you can see that he's able to maintain his posture a lot better coming through with that trail heel staying down through impact versus when he's falling toward the front, that trail foot's coming off very easily. So for those of you who tend to fire off that right side a little too soon, well, you're going to throw yourself out in front of the ball and cause you to hit down. So you can see at impact that Bryson is hitting down in 2016, and in 2020, he's definitely hitting up because he's hitting a 5.5-degree driver and he's launching that sucker up and that ball's climbing up to 150 feet in the air. So the lower loft gives him the ability to hit up on it, and so you're getting a nice high launch with very, very low spin. So you're benefiting from, a nice solid carry, but also you get a nice rollout on that as well. So the support that he's getting in his swing today is just phenomenal. You'll watch him, instead of hitting down, how his head is staying back, and he's got this beautiful room for his elbow in front of his body, and you can see how anchored that release is. And just coming back to that, weaker grip, you'll notice that on the way through, he has to square the club in a major way, but he has the strength to do that. He's always had that, that weak grip, and he's always released very hard through the shot, and it affords him the ability to release as hard as he wants to. But for many of you, having that kind of grip, you don't have that, that fast twitch release in your system, and you're just going to be flailing out to the right and just going to the next fairway all day. And then because you can't square it up, you're gonna have a tendency to want to square it up with the body, and then you'll have a two-sided miss. You'll either be pull slicing or pulling if you're ever able to get it squared up on time. Instead of doing that, you want to take a look at our most important video on grip ever and understand that the body alignment, the anatomical alignment of your bone structure, is there to help you square yourself up through the moment of impact. Something that Bryson never really had a problem with, and now that he's got all that bulk, he's able to compress it nicely. So, Moo, come on back in here. Okay. And you notice, obviously, in 2016, he looks like a nice, slender young man fresh out of college, and now he looks like a baseball slugger.
Yes, he does, yeah.
And so you're kind of falling in between the weight that you had as a receiver and the weight that you had as a D-line.
Yeah, I'm still stabilizing right now.
But you're kind of enjoying that extra little bulk for golf, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Because when we get this guy going and he's got a nice rhythm on the range, yeah. We saw some awesome numbers. There's one in particular video where we had you were carrying the ball 320.
Yeah.
And clubhead speed was in excess. We had you up to about 127 at one point.
Right, yeah.
That's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that I could get there I would have to bulk up as well.
That's right.
So we're dealing with two things, right?
Yeah.
First is fast twitch.
Yeah.
So you brought a couple of nice examples of how to develop fast twitch muscles.
Yeah. So from what I experienced in school, we would do a certain exercises, or say like the squat.
Yeah.
For example, we would have an accelerometer attached to the barbell.
Yeah.
And we would be measuring meters per second on that machine. So seeing how fast you move the weight against gravity.
Okay.
And as you progress, as you get better with the weight, that means you're breaking down the muscle, but you're also rebuilding more neurons that would speed up the fast twitch muscles on the muscles.
Because muscles have neurons.
Exactly, yeah, and they have a certain type of neurons. So they have the ones for strength and for fast twitch. So the fast twitch you're developing in that modality, which is when you're squatting down, you come down 3 seconds, and you do a little pause, and then 1 second coming up. So that 1 second coming up has to be the fastest movement as you can.
I've seen you do that with Sav in her workouts.
Yeah, so that relates well with golf because there's a lot of fast twitch recruitment in golf. So that's why I believe that's the one exercise that would relate very well to the golf, because you're using a lot of ground forces. Another example of the exercise is the single arm dumbbell snatch or kettlebell snatch.
Okay.
That one is
snatch. That's a fast twitch term right there, right?
Yeah,
you gotta snatch it.
That's right, and you gotta perform it with a triple extension.
Yes,
that's right. Because what you're doing there is using the legs using the ground.
Yep.
And you're extending your body, and you're using that momentum to raise the shoulder up, and making sure that the weight's above your head and not flying out. So another focus as well is make sure that shoulder's locked when you finish the exercise.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a technique to it.
That's right.
So what we did, let's say in our workouts the last 3 months is getting me to a point where I've got enough strength and mobility to start using weights in the gym.
Yeah, getting your confidence in that setting, right?
And that's what we're going to do come next fall. So go back to our Facebook page and check out that 3-month session that we did together.
Yeah, that's right.
So Masawi and I, and they're trying to get me up to a certain level where I can start hitting the gym a little bit more. Yeah. And because you don't want to do it from scratch. You got to be prepared.
That's right. Yeah, you got to do certain build up. So when we're doing power cleans, for example, those you don't start with the weight already. You start with just the bar itself.
Just the bar. Yeah.
So you get to understand the technique and understand the recruitment of muscles you're using in that sense, because injury is very easy. Can happen easily in the gym, right?
Yeah.
So you want to avoid that at all costs, because that can hold you back 3 weeks, 2 weeks, who knows.
And it sets you back for your golf games. That's the last thing you want to do.
Exactly. You want to be out in the outdoors, right? Enjoying yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we have fast twitch, and then we need a little bit more.
That's right.
A little bit more muscle.
Yeah.
And that's something that they recommend for guys who are getting on in age, 50s and 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
It's important to keep a certain muscular density on the body.
Yeah, so called functional strength, right?
Functional strength.
Yeah. So the other thing that we would do at school, for example, would be say we would do a regular heavy lift, say a heavy bench, for example.
Yeah.
And then you'd complement that with a power exercise with it. So you're working strength and power.
Okay.
So an example of that would be a bench press, and then you follow it up with medicine ball chest throws.
Okay.
So
you're doing both.
Yeah. So it'd be
okay.
So, yeah. So this was something, an example football would have used, because we use our arms a lot, right?
You see the logic, you guys. So Munashe is available to you, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Wisdom and movement. So if you'll go look in the description, take a look at the link that sends you to his Facebook page.
Right.
And get together with Munashe. He's got some awesome programs to get you started right out of the gate, right online.
That's right on your website, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we have that on our website, and you'll see the fitness page on our website at Wisdom and Golf. Please go check that out. So, that makes a lot of sense. So the muscle is smart.
Exactly.
Part of the muscle is used for explosiveness.
Yeah.
And part of the muscle is used for support and strength.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why you have a kinesiology degree.
That's right.
And that's what that's for. And you notice the strength and conditioning coaches today have a lot of deep study in this matter, because, and I'm sure, Bryson is being followed very closely.
Yeah.
Because you could mess yourself up in a hurry if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, you need proper guidance and the proper steps, right? And increasing the weights properly. Like there's certain percentages that you got to go day by day and week by week. And if you were to, I guess, ego lift, which is when you're trying to lift too much, too sudden.
Yes.
That can be a detrimental injury that could, or affect you along the way.
They call it an ego lift?
Ego lifts, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So your mind's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, ego lifts.
Ego lifts.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
sorry. No, I thought you said eagle. I was thinking golf all of a sudden.
No. Yeah, I can see that.
So the one word that you mentioned is triple extension.
Yes.
And that's what I want you guys to understand, because in golf,
yeah, that's right.
Even though I don't have the muscular mass you do, I can still move the golf club at a really decent clip.
Yeah.
And it's from one of the main reasons that you'll see this is triple extension through the shot. And it comes from the ground up.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
You're using the ground, right?
Perfect example.
So if we look in slow motion here, in the backswing, you don't be afraid of coming up a little bit in the backswing, because it really helps you go get the ground a lot better. So I'll give you an example. If I take this club and I pretend I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm going to do it in a perpetual motion drill, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to swing back and through without stopping, and on every pass, I'm pretending I'm throwing the club over there. So watch how my head comes up and down while I do this, only because I got to go get the ground. And the best way to go get the ground is to be up a little bit, so I can come down to load the ground and use the ground to come back up.
Right.
But your brain is already doing this at 40 million bits of information per second. It knows exactly what to do. All you need to do is give it the right task. And you'll notice in my description of Bryson Dechambeau's improvements in his swing, he went from going after the ball to going after the distance into the target, which is like for our students, it could be easily 30 yards difference between at the ball and through the ball.
Right.
So when you're trying to keep your head down and you're trying to not change your levels, Well, you're sapping a lot of the juice in your swing already.
Right.
So if you'll notice when I swing back and through without stopping, because I've got a self-preservation system built into my body, you'll notice I don't go and hyperextend and lock my knees.
Yeah.
Which is detrimental to your, joint health, of course.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that I don't come down because I'm self-preserving.
Yeah.
So the brain is seeking the path of least resistance in the swing, right?
Yeah.
You need to, it's a little different in the gym. You're trying to create more resistance.
That's right.
Well, when you get out here, and that's why you look at Bryson, he's effortlessly carrying that ball 320 yards, and you'll see through impact how he squatted down and how he's coming up into the finish. So don't be afraid to come back up. We're not trying to do this up and down motion.
Yeah.
We're just trying to throw the club that way, the most efficient way possible. So notice when I go into the backswing, I have to come back down. Then I'm getting out of the way, I come back up again, and you notice how I'm never outside my feet. My brain is seeking its balance. So there's a really good exercise. And these true shoes are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, it's good stability. And
Flat on the ground,
Right.
super comfortable, super secure in the feet. And look at how stable that swing was. And I really attribute that a lot to those shoes.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed that wonderful little session we had on Bryson. And, we invite you to go check out our videos on technique as far as the golf swing is concerned, wisdomingolf.com. And I encourage you, if you want to do something about your body, which I'm trying to do myself, I encourage you to see this guy. He really knows what he's doing. He already has a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom in the field, and he will steer you in the right direction. All the best.
take care.
Thanks, Moo.
No problem.